It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
You know, we're heading toward the end of the whole quarantine con carne era when all my branding is gone. I'm now powered by StreamYard. Didn't want to pay the freight on doing the $50 a month for StreamYard for recording at home. That's a sign that I'm moving back to the car. Welcome to Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Alstyne, Car Con Carne, sponsored by our dear friends at Siren Records in McHenry. You can see me there on Record Store Day. And Car Con Carne, I said we're going back in the car. It's true. Wednesday night, the first time back in the car since the second week of March 2020. My guest will be Blake Coddington of the band Letdown. He'll be joining me for hot dogs over at Byron's. Love Byron's. That's Wednesday night. And sometime this week, we will hear the results of my visit to Springfield, Illinois. I visited the State of Sound, a world of music in Illinois. It's a museum exhibit in the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library. Can your podcast, your favorite podcast, broadcast from the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library? Nay. I made the trip there, recorded from the studio on the floor of the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library within the State of Sound museum exhibit. It was fantastic. You'll hear that at some point this week. Another quick note. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I'm launching a new Kickstarter project. Now, the last time I did something like this was 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago when I did my book project. We appreciate your enthusiasm. First time I've returned to crowdfunding since then. I'm really excited. I'm not going to give the details yet. Tomorrow at 5. Really excited about this. This may be the craziest, maybe the dumbest idea I've ever had, but it may be the best idea too. I'll explain all that tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Now, tonight, joining me are old friends, super talented musicians, performers, raconteurs in their own right. It is Stubby and Adam Cryer from the band Lucky Boys Confusion. Nice to see you gentlemen again.
Hey, man.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me.
Literally, I pull Stubby out of the camera for 1 minute. 1 minute later, he's back with a guitar. He's got a capo on it. What's going on there?
No, I just was at a guitar lesson. I told you. And so when you're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm like, all right, let me just practice what he just taught me.
I like that. You have to internalize all that stuff. I want to share with people. We're starting about 30 minutes later than originally planned. No big deal. But I think this is a perfect description of what happened earlier. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Hang on. That is definitely not what I want. I want to do. Oh, I can't do it. Never mind. Anyways, hi, guys. It's been one of those nights, I swear. So the reason why you're here, besides the fact I think you're delightful, the reason why you're here, this month marks the 20th anniversary of your landmark, your breakthrough album, Throwing the Game. 20 years ago this month. It's Stubby and I were talking, Adam, before you joined us about how he still kind of thinks of other people as much younger than they are. You kind of think of people framed in that moment in time. I still think of you guys as like 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what Adam's feeling is, but like, it's weird to think of, like, even think about Adam, because Adam is the youngest guy in the band, but he's only 2 years younger than me. But like, sometimes I'm just like, little Adam. I can't help it. Like I will always, for the rest of my life, I'll be 94 and he'll be 92, and he'll always be my little brother. Like it just, even though it's like, you can't because those, like you said, those moments in your life are so cemented into that, like, and I would, of course, you don't think about that when you're making like real decisions in life and whatever. Like, oh, that little kid doesn't know what he's talking about. That's not what I mean. I just mean like the way I look at things, like it's, yeah, I still think about those things. I don't know. What do you think, Adam? Like, do you still like kind of sometimes go, I that's not really how it is anymore. Like, I don't know about you. But yeah.
I don't know. It's the first 10. I remember when it was 10 years after it came out, and that felt like forever. Right. That was like, wow, 10 years ago. And it really did feel like a long time. But this past 10 years, however, this is like a rocket. You know what I mean? It feels like a couple minutes there.
Yeah.
So to celebrate, to commemorate, to honor the anniversary of Throwing the Game, you're doing a live stream performance Thursday night. That's happening at 8:00. Are you doing the album straight through? Or what's the deal with that?
No, I'll let Adam explain.
Well, it's kind of we've got guests, we've got acoustic performances, we've got archive footage. There's interviews, and then yes, there's some performance from full band LBC, and most of the tunes from the record are represented. All of them are in some way, if not played. They're the story behind them is kind of told.
This album right here.
Yep, there it is.
Still have it, and as I was going through my CDs, I'm like, oh shit, I still have everything.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh man, I remember sending you all that stuff. Like actually packaging it myself and sending it to you. So, but by the time the Soapbox came out, you were already like on board.
Yeah.
So it's like I was actually calling you. I'm like, hey, this is in the mail. Like I remember I remember I left you a voicemail saying it was in the mail. Just sorry. But yeah, there was so I remember that. I remember sending all of those to you. I think we even sent you the 4-song tape.
Yeah.
No, of course we did. Of course we did, because you played the stuff off there. That's what it came off from. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say, I'm almost positive I played 4080 off cassette.
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Back then, I know.
No?
Back then. I was gonna say not 4080, because 4080 has swears, doesn't it?
I made some mistakes on the air back then.
I'm trying to remember the song right now, because like I know we add little swears in there once in a while, but I can't remember if the actual song does. I can't remember anymore. Oh yeah, the rap part. Yeah. There's no way you did it.
Well, 4080 is one of those songs that survived and lived to become reimagined for this album we're talking about. I mean, you kind of took a handful of songs that you had released as you were starting out, 4080 Dumb Pop Song, Fred Astaire, 3 to 10, and you went in the studio with Elektra Records money and fleshed all those songs out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So was that, were you encouraged to re-record the songs that kind of got you the deal, or was this your idea? Like, oh, we want to take the time and work with the producer on this stuff.
I don't think we had enough material.
Yeah. I was just going to say something like that. Like, I don't think we had much of a choice. I mean, like, it was like, you started playing our song. We had a few songs recorded and we made them into Soapbox Spectacle. And then, it's like in the great sense of the word, we didn't have time. We had to prepare for shows. I mean, It was like we were trying to write. We really were. I mean, like I think Adam and I were getting together as much as we possibly could, and that's when we wrote City Lights and Not About Deborah. Adam, help me out here, buddy. God Only Knows, and like those songs.
To answer the question, no.
Yeah,
we didn't. It wasn't planned out to be that way. We did have some new material. I think Breaking Rules, Saturday Night, Boss Man. A couple outtakes, Never Like This,
Slip,
new songs, and then the ones that we kept, we kind of created them. We didn't want to put out something that people already had,
Well, as far as Boss Man goes, were you worried at the time that the chorus was too big to be contained by one album?
Absolutely, there was many meetings.
Yes, many. I will say, funny enough about the chorus, and credit to Adam here, but Howard Benson, who produced ended up producing Macam, but the big Macam record, and then he did like Lemmy's records and Motorhead records, and I mean, like, he's done everything. We're sitting in this tiny like LA recording space, and we played him the song for the first time, and he just stops us and goes, and I think Jason goes, "You like that chorus?" Or maybe no, it's not like Jason. I think it was Ryan that goes, "You like that chorus?" And he's like, "Actually, what sold me was that pre-chorus." And I'm like, "All right." And that's when I actually like really started being like, "All right, I like this guy," because like like that. He got it. He got like why the reason why the chorus worked is the pre-chorus was so good that it made the chorus pop. And again, I didn't write that. Adam did. So props there. But like, I really that's one of my favorite moments of that working with him in the pre-production part of it. It was like he really got it, man. That guy really got it. Sorry. So I totally strayed there, but yeah, whatever.
No, that's great. One of my favorite songs, and I've told both of you this, I'm sure at different times. One of my favorite songs on the album is "One to the Right," and it's kind of an outlier. It has more teeth, I guess, than some of the other songs on it. Tell me about the evolution of that one.
An old song from Stubby's old band.
Yeah, so that's a Farm Boy song. That's the band that I was in with Ryan Fergus, our drummer, and Lucky Boys, and it was a song that I kind of wrote, just about not fitting in, like everybody was. So all my friends, especially my Indian friends that I grew up with, and like I was friends with more than like the smarter kids in class, not like really like the jocks and stuff, and but I wasn't cool. I wasn't friends with like the Adam Cryers either. I wasn't cool with the punk rock kids either. I just was like this weird kid, like that just kind of like hung out until around like later in high school. But like, I just didn't understand where I fit. And I just felt like, lyrically, at least what I was saying was like I felt like everybody was leaving high school and going like, all right, one to the right. And yeah, you're over there, like, to the side. And like, I was like, well, where the hell do I fit? And that's how I felt lyrically. Melodically, that song is probably the most derivative of my upbringing that I've out of all the music. As far as like that like Indian kind of feel to it, like that harmonic minor that Joe Sell hated so much. It just like, it has that Eastern tinge to it. But yeah, it's still, it's still one of my favorite songs that we've ever done. But the cool part of it was, so I remember calling Adam for the first time, being like, "Hey man, do you want to, I know you write your own songs, I write my songs. Would you want to be in a band together and, kind of like do something nobody else is doing and do it together?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I had him tell me if I'm wrong here, but like you go, "Yeah, man, but can you bring that one song over?" And I was like, "Yeah," and that was One to the Right. So it's our oldest LBC song because it's from my older band. But yeah, man, I love that song, and it ended up being one of the live tracks on this special that we're doing. Yeah.
Awesome. And again, this live stream performance, retrospective anniversary, the 20th anniversary is happening Thursday at 8 p.m. We should say right here, how do people get access to this? Is this an Eventbrite? How do people get access?
So it's simple. It's a company called Moment House that Tony from Punchline started, a band that we toured with back in the day. And how it works is very similar to like you said, Eventbrite or some of these other streaming platforms. Same kind of thing, except you get to stream it for 24 hours.
Love
so if you buy at 8 and you really have to catch that Friends reunion on HBO or Max or whatever it is that you're gonna do, or I know Less Than Jake has another streaming or whatever. If there's something else that you got to do, you can watch it anytime for 24 hours after. But yeah, it's Moment House. So it's just moment, like a moment, momenthouse.com/Lucky Boys Confusion. You can find tickets.
Awesome. Hey, you mentioned Joe Sell, who passed 9 years ago.
Yeah.
You both talked about how it feels 20 years later to be talking about this. What would he have thought to be talking about throwing the game 20 years later?
I mean, he would have, he would have probably enjoyed it as much as we have going through all this old footage. Some of it's really hard to see. A lot of it's pretty amusing. I think, we talk a lot about Joe's contribution to the group, and he wasn't, he didn't have too many songs that he brought in, but what he did do is add to the tunes. You know what I mean? He made them interesting, added this other level, some more texture kind of. And, but yeah, he would have gotten a kick out of this for sure.
Stubby, I feel like as Adam was talking,
I'm laughing because I'm just thinking about Joe right now. Actually, he would have hated every fucking minute of this. Like I think he would have loved it. Joe would have loved it, but he would have hated doing all of it because that's just Joe. Joe loved the music, the shows, the fun, but didn't want anything to do with the promotion, the
business of it.
Yeah, like it just wasn't him. It just but just fine, which is what we loved about him so much. We really did, because he would. Some of my favorite memories of him are when we would do photo shoots, because there's no one that likes doing a photo shoot, including models. Okay, no one likes doing a photo shoot, so we're all just struggling there, trying to get 5 of us to to look right.
It's like herding cats.
It's so awful, man. It's the worst. And trying to even get people to like dress like a band, or like when you look back at those Beatles records and you're like, how do they all just have mustaches at the same time? Or whatever it was. It's because back then they were just constantly together, so they just kind of melded into each other. But anyway, getting back to Joe, he would have loved every minute of the music part of it, the memory part of it, whatever. But yeah, he was not about the the promotion part of it. But yeah, man, he would have loved it. He would have loved playing. He would have loved the idea. I say it in the doc, but it's like this band was the most important thing in his life. And I think when we slowed down, it was harder on him than it was on anyone else. And it wasn't for any reason like you might think. It was just more that he was Joe from Lucky Boys Confusion, man. And that that warms my heart every day. Because Lucky Boys Confusion is me. Lucky Boys Confusion is Adam and Ryan and Jason. So he was Joe from me. You know what I mean? Like that's a really special thing to think about. I don't know. That may be a little bit, believe it or not. Oh my God, I'm sensitive. But it might be a little bit, but I love thinking about that. I love thinking about that like one of the biggest pieces of who he was me, and what me and him had together. So yeah, I think he just absolutely loved it.
And I think for people who've followed you from the beginning, who were there, or who maybe, jumped on with Throwing the Game, they probably love hearing this stuff about Joe. I mean, this is a real.
He was a good time. If you didn't get to party with Joe, you missed out.
You mentioned sonically where you were at, and when you and Adam kind of came together, Stubby, want to try to do some things, try some interesting sounds. You didn't sound like a whole lot of what was going on at that time. Your band sounded fresh and interesting. There were reggae grooves. There was a pop punk sensibility. There was a punk rock sensibility. Mm-hmm. It was all this stuff just kind of thrown together. On paper, it shouldn't have worked, but you guys made it work.
That's really Adam. I'll let him take that one.
Well, I guess, yeah, that was the goal from the beginning, was to be as eclectic as we could be. Because frankly, we just didn't have the attention spans to play one thing. But it was, listening to like the Clash or Beastie Boys, or these kind of mixtape type bands that would do that kind of punk thing. And then, reggae chorus, horn section suddenly,
yep.
and that kind of thing. That was sort of the plan when we started. That's who we wanted to be. I think when we got older and decided that, we didn't have to wear every influence on our sleeve, we kind of became a more focused, just rock band. But it's certainly fun to listen to the early stuff and just hear how excited we were as young musicians to be performing these different styles and mixing and melding them together.
You mentioned the Clash. If you listen back to Sandinista, how can you think anything other than, I can't believe this got made? I can't believe this was a Sony product back in the day.
I was just going to bring up Sandinista.
They were trying to sneak their way out of a record deal. They thought that, if they signed for 6 albums, if they made one of them a triple, like they could get out of their deal quicker, but it didn't work for them that way, I guess.
It's
to add to
unbelievable.
what Adam was saying, I think some of it also came with what I was talking to you before Adam joined, not Adam joined earlier, was that I also, since I didn't get to do the Western music thing for so fast, and I had such a compressed amount of time before LBC started, that I just wanted to do it all. And I felt like even though Adam had a whole almost a lifetime of music before him, he still kind of had that same kind of thing where like music sort of slow, like he started getting pieces of music together and like, like why not just try to put these things together? And then, not to take away any credit from some of the bands that we were listening to at the time too, like you were saying, the Clash and whatever, but there's also some contemporary bands that were probably thinking the same things that we were, and we're like, oh man, they're doing what we wanted to do, like Sublime, like I can't think of any other bands right now at the Exit, but that was later. But like, there was other bands that were doing this kind of stuff. So I think that's where it really kind of came together, is like, we wanted to do the stuff that we were listening to that we liked.
It made it difficult though to find the fan base, right? Because punk rockers don't listen to stuff that has this in it, and hip hop people won't appreciate this. So we ended up finding this unique group of people, that fans and friends that were not punk rockers and not hip hop kids. You know what I mean?
Disenfranchised teens.
Right.
Hey, Kastoop, did you really just open up a beer off camera so that people didn't see you open it?
Oh no, man! I mean, like I've been drinking beers on camera the whole time, and like
I
just was right next to me. Trust me, I was looking for my pipe earlier too, but I don't know where it is. So like, yeah, no, I have no plans.
Adam mentioned horns. Tell me about City Lights. Were horns part of the picture from the beginning?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, the intro to City Lights is something I had written a couple years before we had the actual song. That little horn part too. But it wasn't until later that we obviously, wrote the verses and the choruses.
Well, so my part of City Lights was I brought this like idea to Adam. I didn't know that you had this I'm sure, like just like I do, we have a bunch of different ideas, like just sitting around, like half ideas, and then you somebody, your songwriting partner or just somebody reminds you of something, and you just kind of put pieces together and it works together. And then other times there's full songs like that will come from a theme or a lyrical theme or like even a melodic theme or whatever. But like, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that, man. Well, because I was seriously impressed when I first heard it at Rackstrax, Rick Barnes' studio. That's the first time I heard it, the horn part, and I was like, man, that's really good. And you're like, yeah, I just thought he made up. Man, I thought you just made that shit up. Okay, so but either way, it's still impressive. But yeah, no, the City Lights for me was it was just like I felt it, it, James. I was talking to you a lot back then, and you're like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. I really think this is gonna get somewhere. And there's you, and there was a couple other people in the Chicago music industry that were just like, and it made me just realize that, like, not realize, but I guess I was being hopeful too, like of just getting out of here, getting out of Chicago, getting lost, and this town, this area was so important to me. So like, just put that stuff together, and I guess Adam already had the song kind of written. Like I brought some new melodies to the idea, but that's where it came from. For me, lyrically, it was just more about everything we were doing here, and man, is it going to be the same everywhere else? And it wasn't. But I mean, it's still pretty awesome.
I want to talk about that, but before I kind of get off this song list, track listing, let's talk about Fred Astaire. It seems dishonest to talk about this album and not talk about Fred Astaire. Did you know when you wrote it? Did you know when you recorded it that it was going to be the song that you would lead with?
No.
We didn't know it was going to be the song we were going to lead with until, weeks before it came out as a single. The label was pushing a different song.
What were they pushing?
You know what they were pushing, James?
What?
You know what they were pushing?
Oh, they were pushing Dumb Pop Song?
Of course they were.
Because it had radio support.
Sure.
Right. Of course.
But, that was actually the third time that song was recorded. So, yeah, third, because it was on the first record. And then when we were shopping for labels, or trying to get signed, we did like more glossy kind of
don't
rock
talk
version
about
that was on. I think it's a pretty fantastic mix by Doug McBride that was on Soapbox Spectacle, which is an EP. So this is the third time when it comes out in 2000. When it came out in 2001, that was its third time around the block. I don't know though. It didn't seem like the obvious choice for a single. We wanted it to be, but the label said, well, it's got this weird format to it. Kids don't know who Fred Astaire is. They wanted stuff like Dumb Pop Song and Boss Man.
So Fred Astaire for me was, I'm glad it ended up being the single. I still don't think it should have been Dumb Pop or Fred Astaire, but whatever. But for me, the reason why that song, like, I'm glad it did is because I think lyrically it's the one that hits home. As far as like, that disenfranchised teenager, the thing that, like, looking back, like, I never understood why we connected so much as looking, like, during the time I didn't get it, but I didn't care because I was just having so much fun. It was great. Looking back now as a parent and as an older individual, I'm like, okay, that song was it. They're pushing these children for all the wrong reasons. I knew it then. I knew that song. I knew that line meant something, but I didn't really know what it meant, like why it stuck until later. But I think that's why. But I still go back to One Did Right should have been the single. But that's whatever. That's neither here nor there. But whatever.
So going into the release of Throwing the Game, what were your expectations? Were you thinking, oh, this is it? We're, United Center, here we come.
I remember Ryan Ferguson, drummer, saying, like, this is either going to be a big hit record or it's going to be something that has a small but very loyal following that will be, doing anniversary shows years and years down the line and things of that nature.
Ryan's a genius.
Yep, he really is.
See, and I think that's the secret. I mean, because the statistics of how many bands actually break at that United Center level, those percentages are so small. But if you can establish fans who will support you 10 years, 20 years down the road, that's success in my book. People who are still interested in what you have to say in the songs you recorded, who will still come to those shows 20 years later and sing along. It doesn't matter if it's United Center. If they're coming to Metro House of Blues or whatever, I think that's a victory. And that's what you have.
I agree. I think that this band would have been happy and fine with it if it was that, like, around the country. The problem is that it became more and more difficult to do because it was this here, like that selling at the House of Blues multiple nights and stuff like that, like or Metro multiple nights, and then we'd go to Cleveland and play a club and you sell it out, but still, to be fair, like a sub T size, and which was great. I mean, most bands would be just it's like through the like to the moon, like with that kind of turnout, but it wasn't financially sustainable to
Right.
do that with how costly it was to tour and whatever. But it was just it. I just think that I think that it's right though. But we have this like following across the country. I wish we could still just keep doing it. But I 100% agree with you that like you only get to that like United Center level. I think you even get to that like metro around the country level, and I think that even that I feel like it's like the exponentials, and I work in trading and stuff like that. Is like exponentially. There's that like everyone's right here, and then there's a echelon, whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce it. Of those top 3%, but that top 3% even has like this small thing in it, where you have the Modest Mouses that can go around and play like Rivieras around the country, and then it just falls off, And I think that's the hard part about music, and I think it's gonna be even harder when we get out of this coronavirus. But that's totally good enough.
Oh yeah, great. So the album came out. What was touring like behind this album?
The best time of my life.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun because we'd only done regional touring.
Yeah.
And when it was out, we were seeing parts of the country for the first time that we hadn't seen, and
Awesome.
we were playing with big bands. What did QAnon have? That was Jamboree. So every city had a Jamboree.
For sure.
Had a different name. So we did that whole circuit that summer of Jamborees across the country. And I was running into the same bands, whoever was working singles that summer. You know what I mean? But then
it was like summer camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had your summer friends.
Camp, except we were the baby band that were willing to do anything.
Yeah.
So I'll let you finish, Adam, but I have a story to tell.
Anyway, so we were also supporting, doing club tours, which was a ton of fun, and really learning how to do it and do it every night and be able to get up the next day, and recreate it. It was also our first experience it wasn't our first time with Warped Tour, but it was our first time.
Yeah, pretty much.
We did Warped the summer before in Chicago, but it was our first time doing the tour bus thing. It was our first time doing we were doing TV and radio constantly. It was just, it was exciting. And we were all going through this thing together, as a group.
Yeah. And that's, you nailed it at the end. We were doing this together, and there was a really big, I think that's the tightest the band had ever been. I mean, not like we're not now, or like we're still great, but like that was an excitement level that will never be matched again. It's just like, it was our honeymoon.
Right.
Like that's like, how people say things like, oh, they're just honeymooning. They're just happy. They're just honeymooning. That's what we were. We were honeymooning. We were having the greatest time. And we also had very, and no knock against them. It's not like how I work, but like we also had very young, fresh managers that had never managed a band of this caliber before. I don't mean that in like a, this level before of this major label kind of thing. So anytime, like when Adam brings up these, like we were playing these like festivals, anytime there was anything that needed to be done, they'd be like, yeah, our guys will do it. Yeah, our guys will do it. So we were playing Edge Fest Buzzfest, Adam? Buzzfest? What was Houston? Buzzfest. So Buzzfest asked us, some band got into a bar fight the day before, or a few days before, and one of their guys got really beat up to the point where I shouldn't laugh, and that's not funny, but he got beat up to the point where he couldn't play. And they're like, well, what band will play? No band would step up, and our guys are like, our guys will do it, and we're like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, you're gonna play 2 shows today. I'm like, and I go, wait, what? And they're like, well, it'll be like 2 hours apart. I go, 2 hours apart at a festival? Like what? I'm like, all right. And then I go, well, at least we'll be on different stages, right? Like, no, on the same stage. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And so, but the thing is, even though we only had this 1.5 hour set practiced, we still changed our setup because that's just who we are. And we rocked that set. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we had always had a big crowd in Houston is because we did that. And so we got a lot of that was a lot of throwing the game. It was just like being like, sure, our guys will do it. There was like a 6 a.m. Showing on a beach in Tampa, and it was the day after we were done with our tour, like our 60-day tour, and we were getting in at midnight. The bus was dropping us off at midnight, and we had to get on a flight at 6. And our guys thought it would be a good idea to put us on a show on the beach at 8 in the morning. And it was the only time I lost my voice in the whole tour. And Adam took over at the end. Like it's just funny. Like thinking back to it, like how green everybody in our like little boys world was. Like, sure, yeah. Well, I mean, they'll be back the night before. It's fine. Just put them on a flight. They'll get on there. Do you guys want to do it? And it was always like, you guys want to do it? And the answer was always yes.
I get it. I mean, I think that's the right way to go about it.
I don't think any of us said no for like 2 years, like for anything. Like it was just so much fun, James. That whole time in our life was just so much fun.
Yes, and we talk all about it in this thing.
Sorry.
Thursday night, right? James, I just wanted to say, I don't think we've said it yet, but thanks for also, this thing that we're talking about tonight. You are a part of it. You're one of the special guests.
I didn't know if I made the final cut or not.
You did. Congratulations. Absolutely. You made it.
All right. So Thursday night, you can see me alongside these gentlemen here as part of the documentary, the retrospective, the anniversary, throwing the game, the performance, the live stream performance, documentary footage from the past. I mean, this is really cool. Hey, I'd say this is great for, longtime fans of LBC. I think it's a great opportunity for music fans, period. I mean, this is the kind of stuff music fans live for. Behind the curtain stuff. A lot of that. I love behind the curtain stuff, a peek into the thought process, the minds. And if you balance that with live performance, I mean, sold. Great.
Yeah, man. We get into a lot of like the music biz stuff, the music, like the writing stuff and whatever. I really think it'd be fun for anybody to come in and check out. Absolutely. And to add to Adam's point, and I know I've said this to you before and many, many, many times, but like, yeah, we wouldn't be here without you. So, and that's not a light comment for anybody that's listening, because James is about to say whatever, but
it's like me. It's like me.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here without James and Local 101, and it was one of the moments, and I know Adam thinks I talk too much, and that's fine. That's what I do. But I was at a party once back in this throwing the game time, so it matters. And I didn't get to tell this story. I did tell this story, but it didn't make the cut. And so I want to tell it here. One day I was at a party, and they had Q101 playing in the background, and I was talking, and like not everybody knew us that well then, and I'm like, yeah, I'm actually friends with that guy. They're like, yeah, no, you're not. Like, whatever. I'm like, no, actually, he's my buddy. Like, we talk all the time. I'm like, I'm in this band called Lucky Boys Confusion. Like, no, you're not. I'm like, okay, all right. And I'm like realizing, like, wait, hold on. They're kind of putting me in the same, like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like James Bonazo. So anyway, I call you. You did answer, like, hey, Stevie, what's up? Anything wrong? I'm like, oh, no. Look at the phone. Look at the clock. And I'm like, oh, shit. I can't remember what I said to you, but I remember it being like, sorry, I was just calling about the night before. Like we had an interview like that Sunday or something like that. The next Sunday, I'm like, yeah, I was just calling about that. You're like, yeah, next time just call call during this time and this time, and you were so nice about it. And the guy's like, were you just on with James of an Austin? I'm like, whatever. So that's probably why I didn't make the cut, because it wasn't that great of a story, but for me, it was really,
it amuses me.
I got to be like, I know this famous person, because they were like, no, you don't.
I don't know if anyone who is watching or listening maybe doesn't know, but James started, he was putting out these compilation CDs from the local show, and they would have bands that they would use to promote it, and that was how we got signed. I think they were playing it so much on Q101 that we literally talked to 4 or 5 different record labels because of that.
Well, and we were able to play it so much because it was so short. We can get it in rotation more often. It's like 2 minutes. Just keep playing that. No problem.
But it was the dumb pop song.
It was. I mean, truth in advertising, right?
Well, I mean,
Right.
The thing I want to laugh about, like whenever anybody like makes fun of the song, like says anything to us about it, I go, it's called the dumb pop song, man. Like, yeah, we get it. Like, we already made fun of ourselves before you did, you idiot.
Yeah, the mea culpa is right there.
And that was one of those. Like, I love that moment, because I can't really exactly remember. I think it was me that came out with the title, but it didn't matter, because like me and Adam were like writing it together, and I think we both were like, "That's so good." Like, like we both. I just because I don't remember exactly who came out with it, but I do remember both of us being like, "Yes, that is the name of this song." And what a bad but good idea, at the same time. But like,
Adam just checked in for people who are listening and not watching. Congratulations, guys. Well deserved. Here's to another 20. Amen.
oh man,
Love seeing that. Another 20.
canes and wheelchairs allowed.
The 40th anniversary of throwing the game. Get ready to talk about Boss Man 20 years from now.
Oh man. Well, I was just somebody says that to me. I'm like, I am the boss man now. So it's like, whatever.
So with both of you, I mean, Adam with AM Taxi and your production work, and you've become like a mentor to everyone in the Chicago music scene. Stubby, with your various side projects, no matter what direction you guys go in, no matter what you're doing, it always comes back to Lucky Boys, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like home base. You go out and play, you do your stuff, but it always comes back to the Lucky Boys home.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it does. I never really had Adam's level of success outside of my stuff, outside of LBC. I mean, a fair amount with Super Happy and stuff like that, and more international. But like, it for me, it's not really about anything that I did after it, because I always remember that everything after it became because of this. So I always try to keep that there. And then there's also like, for me, coming back to it is just like what we were talking about before with this record. And I talk about a lot of this in our documentary that everybody should see on Thursday. But like the one, it's the you don't get to do that again. You don't get to do that first.
Right.
That first tour, the first, like, I think when we got in the van together the first time for our first tour, that feeling, you don't like that exciting, amazing feeling. Even though we all thought we should have been there, we all knew that this was what we should have been doing. There was still this level of excitement that you'll never be. It's your first love. That's what it is. It's your first love that you don't ever forget your first love. That's what it is.
Well, and as you described that first time jumping in the van, I mean, there's a level of unreality to it. Like, holy shit. Yeah. It's all nerves and adrenaline and excitement and just spastic youthful energy. I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah, it was, man, it was awesome. I just wish I remembered more of it, because like you're, a lot of that time, because you're being fed in your ear so much, like you're always looking forward instead of like taking in the moments. I think Adam was a little bit better about taking in the moments, but like I was always like, all right, next show, or next thing, next XYZ or whatever. And maybe you weren't, Adam. I shouldn't put words in your mouth, but like I just felt like I just wish I could to any band that's getting signed or get whatever, not even getting signed, get like about to like hit the road and take it on an adventure. Easier said than done, but taking the moments.
Yeah.
Because they're gone before you know it. And but I still remember a lot of it. So whatever.
All right. So Thursday night, the live stream event, Throwing the Game, 20-year anniversary. More insight behind the scenes, curtain pulling back stories from you guys, the whole band. We get the performance. I love and adore you guys, and I would do this every night with you if you wanted to.
James, thanks so much.
And
Everything over the years. Really appreciate it.
absolutely. And you got Adam and me together for once, and now you believe that we don't hate each other?
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing, Adam. It was a couple interviews ago with Stubby. I said, "Do you and Adam hate each other? You're never in the same place at the same time unless you're on stage. Do you still like each other?" Yeah. And then I got the explanation. No, of course, he's my brother. We love each other, but we sometimes take different promotional approaches. And okay, but it is nice to see the two of you together.
I told him this. I'm like, we're the two faces of the band. So it's like if we got like promotional stuff to do, you do one, I do the other. Like I do. That's why. Like it's not like I don't want to be in the same room as Adam. But then and to be totally honest, while we were doing Throwing the Game, Adam, and you can back me up on this, it was just me and you doing all those things. Every single interview we did together, I think, right? Didn't we?
Yeah. So technically we're not in the same place at the same time right now. So,
true.
Yeah.
That's why it's working.
See, I kind of look at it as
thanks, Dick.
The same reason that you don't put the president and vice president on the same plane. There has to be like a continuity of government.
Wait, so am I the president or am I the vice? I don't know. That depends who you ask. Do you ask the fans or do you ask the band?
You're the boss man, bro.
Oh, man, I am not. He's the boss man in this band.
All right. I want to thank everyone who's been watching and listening. Adam and Stubby, stay right there. I'm going to end the broadcast, but I don't want you to go away. So thank you, everybody. Go watch their live stream on Thursday.
See ya.